I want to hop over quickly to the Cape Town International Convention Centre, and Juniour Khumalo is there. Him and Ziyanda and Ngcobo are keeping an eye on the swearing-in ceremony of the new cabinet ministers. Juniour, good morning. Who do you have with you?
Indeed, Iman. Earlier on, when you spoke to us, we had not seen any of the ministers or the deputy ministers designate coming into this venue, but now they've started trickling in. So far, we do have with us the Deputy Minister for Electricity and Energy, which is Samantha Graham Murray. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. It's been 3 days since you've been appointed by the President. Have you found your feet? What have you done so far? Have you gotten to meet your departmental individuals that you're going to be working with?
Juniour, it's been a bit of a shock. I think I'm still reeling a little bit. Remember, this is a new department because they're splitting energy from mineral resources and energy, and the minister has been in the presidency up until now. So this is an entirely new department. So no, we haven't had a chance to get together as a department. I've chatted to the minister. We're going to have a one-on-one later today, where we're going to just plot a way forward for the next few days. We don't have offices at this stage, so everything's brand new for our ministry. So it's going to take a couple of weeks for us to settle down. But for now, we're finding our feet, and we're going through the ceremonial processes, and hopefully we'll start the real work within the next couple of days.
Okay, tell us about the position of Deputy Minister. What do you understand it to be? Because a lot of people always have questions. When the Minister is away, the Deputy Minister can't act in that position. So what's your understanding of that position?
So Deputy Minister position is not a constitutionally mandated position, and a Deputy Minister doesn't form part of the Cabinet. However, we do form part of the Executive. So we are part of the decision-making and the policy implementation of the government, but not part of the Cabinet per se. So the Deputy Minister can act, for example, in Parliament and answer questions when there are questions to the Minister, but we cannot act on behalf of the Minister. There's no designation for that. Another Minister will be put into a ministerial acting position should that be required. So our job then obviously is just to do, specific aspects of the portfolio and make sure that that's being implemented.
The energy crisis in South Africa has impacted a lot on the economy. So what are some of the things that you and the minister would want to do to ensure that we do have energy security in the country?
Look, as you say, the energy crisis has been one of the biggest issues that we faced as a country. It has impacted everybody in every sphere of their lives. So it definitely remains one of the key portfolios that we have to address going forward. We've had a long period now without load shedding. Clearly what the minister has put in place so far is working. The new Eskom board seems to be doing a fantastic job. I think Ngcobo have brought around a lot of change and a lot of good stuff. But so I think our focus now has to be obviously on keeping the electricity availability factor high, making sure that we are supporting Eskom, but also to make sure that we do the changes to Eskom, the breaking up of Eskom into the three parts, expanding the grid, and then we need to be looking at the just energy transition and bringing in a clean green energy mix into the energy cycle so that we are covering all our bases going forward.
Thank you so much. That is the new Deputy Minister for Electricity and Energy. Just speaking about some of the changes that have happened, the introduction of that energy side of things into this new ministry. It's a new ministry, as she's already indicated. They still don't have offices, according to her. So it's going to be a tough job ahead for her, as well as the Energy Minister, Hosiyentswe Ramogopa. Back to you in studio, Iman.
Thanks, Juniour. Well, let's hop over in a similar location to you, and this is our senior politics reporter, Ziyanda. Ngcobo, Ziyanda, who do you have?
Well, Iman, I've got the Freedom Front plus Peter Groenewald, but perhaps I shouldn't be saying it like that because, of course, you are now going to be the Minister of Correctional Services, so the party political stuff put aside. The task ahead, our prisons are full. We've had the disaster and the scandal of the Thabo Bester scandal, for an example. There's a lot cut out for you.
Yes, there are quite a lot of challenges. And it's not that I disband my political party, I'm still the leader there. But yes, I think corruption is a main issue and we will have to address it. But besides that, I do believe that we have many, and fast the majority of the employees of correctional services are honest, hard-working people. And I'm going to use them as part and utilize to ensure that we just stamp corruption out. We must do that. And of course, part of that is also rehabilitation. We must ensure that we get people rehabilitated in our correctional facilities so that they can go back in normal life and can contribute to further building South Africa. Our prisoners are overcrowded and everything, so we will have to attend to that.
Of course, issues of budget have become an issue, but also I suppose the question for many people is whether or not there'll be a change in policy. I know there have been strong calls in the run-up to the elections for hard labor to be reintroduced into the system. Is that something you're looking at? Have you met with your DG as yet, for an example?
No, in fact, at this moment I actually don't have a DG because we must remember it's a new department. It's split from a Justice Department. I will look into these matters, and this thing about hard labor and everything, that's not true. What I said is that, yes, we will see how we can save money for the taxpayers of South Africa. I do believe that the facilities, correctional facilities, must start to produce their own food again. They have the agricultural land, it is there, and there are proposals. Institutions who want to assist with that, and I will seriously look into that matter so that we can save taxpayers' money. I mean, there's nothing wrong to ensure that facilities produce their own vegetables and their own food.
Pieter Groenewald is the Minister in the Correctional Services, as you heard him say, doesn't have a DG as yet because it was separated from the Justice Ministry. Let's go now to General Bantu Olomise. You're live on Newzroom Afrika. You're the new Deputy Minister for Defence. We've been speaking to you, but of course now the work of institution building, speaking to the bureaucrats and perhaps the interpersonal relationship as well with you and your Minister Angie Motshekga. Lots to think about in this moment?
Nothing to think about really, because I'm back into the environment. I know it better. I'm looking forward to the orientation which the commanders of the Defence Force will take us through together with our colleagues in the cabinet.
And of course, this is an important moment. You've been around for the 30 years of our democracy in Parliament. In your own personal assessment, how significant is this moment to be having this kind of government of national unity and the kind of issues or perhaps non-issues in terms of capacity building and institution building, especially with what we've seen in our civil service in recent years?
I think we must not get too excited. Between now and March next year, I guess that we will have enough time to compare notes, especially to integrate some of our manifestos, so that as from next year, we begin to have a common policy positions. Right now, the budget has been allocated already under the old ANC policies, and we cannot change it midstream. So we must understand the issues related to governance. But this period gives us more time to meet every now and again to make sure that come next financial year, we know what we are said we are doing.
And that speaks to the policy lekgotla that the President has already spoken about. Even in his weekly newsletter, he touched on that, and that a program of action is likely to be outlined. As someone who's got experience, as you said, this is going to be like a duck in water. You're going to be like a duck in water. The key priorities for you that you believe need to be dealt with almost on an immediate basis.
Well, for the Defence Force, obviously, we have to look at the safety of the troops outside the country, as we have read that things are not looking good. So we have to see the Commander-in-Chief and the commanders and find out what is the next step in order to make sure that those troops are safe in Mozambique as well as in DRC. And secondly is to review the situation of the security collectively. That means all the cluster of the security must make sure that they close ranks and help each other, because the crime here inside the country needs to be attended to immediately.
All right, so that's General Bantu Olomisa. He is going to be the Deputy Minister for Defense, saying that, well, this is not going to be an unfamiliar terrain for him. And Iman, you can see that there are several of the ministers now making their way. I spotted Pemi Majordina, the new Minister of Water and Sanitation. She was jokingly saying that she's going to be in Doniaman's. Let's try and grab the new Deputy Minister of Transport and IFP spokesperson Khumalo. You're live on Newzroom Afrika. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Yes. Scopa no more, Deputy Minister of Transport. The difference, what do you bring to the table?
Well, I think that the benefit of Scopa in that there was a lot of issues which were related to transport that one dealt with, and so one is not going to be wholly lost in finding their feet. Obviously, the task is very huge. The challenges in the portfolio in its entirety are problematic. If you look at the recovery of the train lines with PRASA, amongst others, the huge mess which currently prevails at the Road Accident Fund, amongst others, are some of the key areas. But obviously, one will have to take it day by day and look at all the issues, and the minister will give direction in terms of delegation, and then one will hit the ground running once that's on my table.
All right, Khumalo, let's allow you to go and register. Many coming in thick and fast. Cape Town, Western Cape Premier, I should say, Alan Winde there. The new minister in the presidency responsible for women, persons with disabilities and children, Cindy Siwe Chikunga, also here, Iman. So let's leave it there for now as I hand back to you in studio.
Ziyanda, thank you very much. And interesting to hear some of the confidence and then the reticence by some of those ministers and deputy ministers designate as they prepare to be sworn in today.